So let's go to the third paragraph.
Shortly after taking over in January 2000, the company raised water rates substantially. Many people had to choose between feeding a family and paying their water bill. To protest the increase, residents took part in a 4-day general strike, which shut down the city. La Coordinateur, an organization of community activists and labor leaders, led the protest. The strike ended when the government agreed to cancel the rate increases.
Okay. So what did they do in January 2000? What did they do?
They raised the water rates substantially.
Substantially. So
Yeah,
what?
substantially. A lot.
Lot, yes. Substantially means a great deal or a lot, significantly. Okay, so that's substantially. And many people had to choose between feeding their family and paying their water bills. What does the sentence mean?
It means they were poor. They couldn't either
They do not
feed
have
their
money.
family and pay the water bills.
Very
both.
good. Yeah, it means that they didn't have enough money.
Yeah, they do not have money to pay the bill.
Otherwise, they would go starving.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, we know the other parts. So what did this organization, La Coordinator or La Coordinator, do? What is the role of this La Coordinator?
They coordinate a protest, a strike.
They led the protest. It means they were leaders in the
leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to manage the protests. And the strike ended when the government agreed to cancel the rate increases. So first they agreed to cancel the rate increases, but look at the next part.
By mid-February, the government had not lived up to the agreement.
So have not lived up to the agreement. What does it mean? Have not lived up to the agreement.
Give up.
No.
Don't
hope to do it.
Had not lived up to the agreement.
Expect.
It means they didn't act as
didn't act as promised.
Yeah, they didn't keep the promise. Yeah, they had an agreement with people to
they do not
cancel
do it.
all those increases, but they did not keep their promise. Okay, so they did not live up to the agreement.
A peaceful protest march was organized, but riot.
You know the meaning of march? A protest march?
Walking.
March means walking.
It is walk out, yeah, walking outside and showing that you are protesting something, okay? That is called protest march. So it's a kind of peaceful or non-violent protest.
Police used tear gas to stop the marchers, many of whom were injured.
So riot police, you know riot police. What kind of police is riot police?
Anti-violence.
Cannot control
the protest against
no any method.
So the riot police tries to control
demonstration.
The violence.
Riot or violence sometimes. They use tear gas, and you know tear gas.
Yes, of course.
What is a tear gas?
Tear gas. Put some water to your eye, and your eye tear a lot of tear.
Yeah, so it's a kind
like
of
spicy something. Spray to your eye. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of a spray into your eyes so that you start crying.
Yeah,
you stop
like
the marching, many of whom were injured.
The people did not give up, though. In March, activists demanded that the government cancel the privatization contract and return the water system to public ownership. They also released the Cochabamba Declaration, which called for the protection of the water rights of people around the world.
So, what did they do next when the government was not keeping the promise?
They didn't give up.
Mm-hmm. So what did the activists demand this time?
That government canceled the contract and returned the water supply that
Public ownership.
it's for public ownership. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a bigger demand then. They didn't just want to cancel all those price increases or water
Yes.
Rate increases.
They want to cancel the contraction. Yeah.
They want to cancel all the privatization, turn water supply to people. So
yeah.
they also released you know the meaning of released? Released
It means
They canceled.
no.
Tell
Declare.
Declaration. Was a declaration.
Declaration. Yeah.
What's the meaning of release?
Release means
notice.
No.
Like
No. Like you release an album. For example, a singer releases an album, or an organization releases an announcement.
yes, release means the.
So release means issue or publish. You know, publish. Issue or publish means to announce everyone, so that everyone,
announce. Yeah,
announce everyone. So release the Cochabamba Declaration. So you know declaration. What is declaration?
Agreement.
Agreement.
Yes.
Almost not agreement, which called for protection of water rights of people around the world. So they had a bigger demand this time. They had a declaration. A declaration is usually like a letter, okay? You write the letter and tell everybody or tell the whole world that we don't want water privatization, okay? Or there should be no water privatization because water is part of people's, rights. Probably, they think so. So, which called for, called for?
Yes.
Called for. What does called for mean?
Declaration is a name.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yes.
That's my question.
Okay. This being the declaration's name called the protection of water rights.
It was because of the protection.
No, called for.
Called for its name and name of this
issue. Name of this issue.
Verb. Called for means demand, means request or ask for. So called for the protection of water rights of people around the world. So they asked for the protection of the water rights. Everybody has got rights to water, like oxygen. It is one of the basic things that you need. So they asked for the protection of the water rights of the whole world, not just Cochabamba.
When the government once again refused their demands, residents shut down the city on April 4th. Other Bolivians came to support them. The government arrested the leaders of the protest and stopped the media from reporting on it. Police attacked and injured many protesters and on April 8th killed a young protester. On April 10th, however, the government backed down and agreed to all of the protesters' demands.
Okay, so what happened on April 10th?
On
the
April
government
10,
backed down.
The government backed down.
Back it down.
What does it mean that they back down?
It means they cancel the contract and agreed to the protesters' demand.
So back down, it means they
Give up.
stepped back. Yes, they gave up. They stepped back. It means they didn't want more violence in the society or in the community, and they backed down. Okay. So how many people were killed in the protests?
One.
One young protester.
Only one. And how many were injured?
Many.
Many protesters.
Many protesters.
Okay. Any questions? No?
The people of Cochabamba had won. They said no to the economics of globalization and gave hope to many others around the world.
So you know globalization, yes? Or globalization?
Globalization.
What does it mean, globalization?
The same for all of the world.
Pardon?
The whole
Uh,
world.
You maybe have the some acting for all of the world.
Yeah, maybe the same policy or the same diplomacy for the whole world is called globalization. And yeah, they said no to the economics of globalization. Globalization has got positive points and negative points as well. This is one of the negative points we were talking about. Yes, Farzad?
Yes, it's a negative point, but it maybe have the positive point also. But it's related situation that the economic of the globalization follow.
Yeah.
For example, in the poor country, when they want help to them, they imagine that they have not any raise for benefit, and they have the most benefit from the supply from, for example, for water, for health, for anything. But in other situation, when you have when you appraise your rate, your benefit in these countries, and the people have not enough money for pay that, and so you help to the poorer and poorer of this country, unfortunately.
You help them, you're just putting them in danger.
Yes, of course, put in the danger, because it's first of all is the help, but the policy when you ongoing, the conclusion is not good for the country. It's not good for the poor country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think the essential benefit is for that multinational companies, just for them, not for people.
You're right. I agree with that. So
yeah,
globalization is most.
Yes, yeah, the globalization, the economic globalization is just benefit this big companies.
Yeah, maybe the only benefactors of globalization is just multinational companies.
As all of us see in this world, this time we see this big company that they are in all countries, they act in all countries, and all the benefit it is for these big companies, not for the people.
Mm-hmm. But there are also good benefits for the people as well, because there are lots of employees actually working in those corporations, and it will help them live. Yeah, they can have their own lives. They can earn money.
Yeah, but when you see the whole result in the countries, you see that they, yes, the benefit is not for people.
That's right.
I think it's for this big company.
Big company, yeah. They always win. but
Yeah.
people are always losing